In June 2013, Leica Geosystems introduced the Pegasus One, the first mobile mapping solution capable of handling the needs of both survey grade and inventory grade mapping projects. With me today to talk about the real-world applications of this technology are Brad Adams of Leica Geosystems, Obadiah Ford of Rice Associates, Brad Gorondona of Gorondona and Associates, and Eric Barton of Spicer Group. Brad, let's start with you. What is significant about the Pegasus One? What makes it so different from other mobile mapping solutions?
Christy, thank you. The real differentiators of the Pegasus One break down into three specific applications: accuracy, productivity, and efficiency. The fact that we have a mobile mapping platform that delivers plus or minus 2 centimeter absolute accuracy without any secondary control is an amazing accomplishment for the ability to collect data very quickly. The fact that we do it productively and we're able to collect up to 100 miles a day, and that data is ready to be extracted by noon the next day, gives a tremendous advantage to the service providers who are using this data. And then finally, the effectiveness of the data to be able to be shared across an enterprise, because it is built on an Esri map solution. We can use this data in any number of applications and share it across the enterprise with untold numbers of users that we've never been able to do before. So it's really a paradigm shift in what we're doing with mobile mapping.
Now, Eric, Spicer Group has been using this technology for the last 7 months now. What was it that made you decide to move forward with the Pegasus One solution?
Well, we were consuming data from other systems using this type of technology on our projects, and knew at some point that this was technology we wanted to get into. So we were evaluating really 3 systems because accuracy was, sub 2 centimeter accuracy was really what we needed to achieve for the types of projects that we do. So we were evaluating 3 systems, and when we brought Brad and the team in from Leica and had the chance to demo the Leica system, we were impressed from day one. The system had the accuracy that we needed to complete our engineering grade projects, and the rapid ability to collect a tremendous amount of data in a single day without having to stop every hour to reinitialize the IMU solution was really incredible. And then the post-processing production and the ability for our technician staff to effectively process and then start extracting data very quickly really lent itself toward meeting all the requirements that we needed in a mobile mapping system. And then really to top it all off was the portability of the system. We knew that if we were going to get into this business and this technology, that we were not going to be able to continue to just do projects in Michigan. We knew we had to go provide these services nationally. And we didn't want a system that was fixed to a particular vehicle platform. We needed something that could go from one platform to another, or put on a plane and fly to a destination, rent a vehicle and map, and the Pegasus gave us that solution. So that was really accuracy was key, but the portability was a primary consideration as well.
Now, Spicer Group got into this in a really innovative way. You guys started working with the data for a while before you actually started using the mobile mapping system. And as a result, you were able to jump right in and start working on real projects. What is the most common feedback that you've heard from clients since you've been working with them using the mobile mapping solution?
Probably the most common word we hear from our clients is wow. I mean, they're just very impressed with the amount of data we're able to collect in a given day, and then how quickly we're able to process that data and turn it over to the technician staff to begin that extraction effort. And then we've actually brought clients in and let them watch our production workflows on extraction, and they're just blown away when they see how fast a technician can extract features from a data set. And when they're comparing to a boots on the ground effort, when a guy can go out and get 50 or 60 features in a day, and they can stand there and watch a technician do 300 or 400 features in a day, it just blows them away. So really the consistent story that we hear is wow. And to give one example, we did an asset project for a client, a valued client of ours, and where we went out and we collected over 300 miles of centerline road data, and really the primary goal was to extract 4,000 water features for his water district, with the goal of using this data for other purposes downstream. And when we were able to go out and collect 300 plus miles in 4 days, and then extract the 4,000 features in a fraction of the time that it would have taken several people on the ground to collect this data, right away he was sold on the efficiencies and then the continued reuse of this data for his engineering projects downstream. He was sold, and he sees this technology as the only way to do his asset projects from this point forward. So,
sure. Now, Obadiah, you guys have been using this system for a few months now.
Yeah.
What kind of capabilities has this enabled you to provide to your company and your clients?
Well, it's taken our service for our clients to another level. Being able to collect miles and miles of survey data in a single day, improve delivery schedules, and thus cost savings for the client has been a game changer.
And Brad, when you started evaluating mobile mapping solutions, what was it about the Pegasus One that really drew you to that system?
Well, you know, Brad Adams covered a lot of it. It was pretty much the technology has advanced and the software capabilities have increased over the past 5 years to where it's become more efficient, it's more accurate, which is a huge cost savings when you do your projects. On top of that, our clients are now demanding 50 to 60 miles of mapping within 30 to 60 days of design grade delivery. And this is the best system on the market to get a great product out to them and do it on time and turn around and be cost efficient.
What types of projects do you see your company using this on?
Well, you know, since we've only had the system for 2 months, I mean, obviously the Departments of Transportation is going to be your primary source of income. But we do a lot of utility work, so you can use it for routes for underground utilities and then aerial utilities such as electrical and telephone. On top of that, there is a need within the municipalities to move forward and actually get their water and sewer plant infrastructures and map the entire plant so that every time that they add, they've got a design grade file sitting there within their system. On top of that, you've got, as Brad Adams alluded to with regards to infrastructure or, what do you call it? Gosh darn. Water valves and sewer manholes and storm drains and head walls and everything else with regards to inventory for the cities, along with pavement cracks. I mean, there's just a lot of need out there. And we're just at the beginning of the surface. And of course, you've even got the Corps of Engineers who probably become a primary client within this because they do map their shorelines. And I've seen some pretty good examples of some mapping with this system. So that was our primary concern. I think jumping in early with the Pegasus One system has given us a huge jump start on a lot of the people within the market.
Sure. Obadiah, what about you? Do you find that you're using the Pegasus solution in certain types of applications, or is it really wide open? Are you taking advantage of all different types of applications?
Well, we have our typical transportation projects, which we'll deploy it on a lot of the times. But we're always looking for other avenues to use it in another way. Much like Brad said about the utility mapping, we've used it for mapping utility paint. We'll have our underground utility crews designate the area. A lot of the areas we work in Northern Virginia and DC, they're very congested, the intersections are very large. It's not safe to put field crews out there in the road. So we can have the utility crews designate, and then we can drive the corridor and map the paint just from the acquisition of this system. And so finding different ways to use the system is definitely something that we're always open to and we always look for. And so that's one of the exciting aspects of this kind of technology. As with the static scanning, we sort of did the same thing, deployed it on regular survey projects and then expanded from there. So that's pretty much the approach that we're taking.
What kind of feedback have you been hearing from clients so far, just in being able to present this new capability?
There's a huge wow factor. Just the data sets and the presentations you can produce from this technology alone, there's a huge wow factor. So we don't find it too difficult to show a client what we're doing and how we can benefit their projects, how we can save them on schedule and cost, and not have them be amazed at the data they're looking at. So one of the exciting things that I like is that it's going to improve our relationship with our clients, because there's a lot of folks out there that don't necessarily understand this technology. So being able to go in and sit down with a client and really discuss the details about what we can do, what we can provide them, and then at the end make sure they can handle the data, work with the data, share the data, and extract more valuable information after we've taking care of our project needs. So it's the client relationship aspect is going to improve just from operating the system.
Sure, and that's an interesting point. I know that one of the key benefits of the system is that efficiency that you gain just in doing all those different types of the process that you ordinarily do. And I know Brad Gorndona, you've mentioned that to me before, that there's a big efficiency to be gained. Is that one of the things that you've noticed already just in the few months you've been working with the system?
Oh my God, yes. I mean, to be able to collect over 1 million points in a second, and you basically, I mean, it's attached with video, so you know what you're shooting. And it basically paints that video for your client. I mean, it is so much simplified and so much easier to put the data together and give it to your client to where they can go, like you said, wow, this is incredible data. We need to find out the uses, which is why we're talking about mapping the water and the sewer plants within the Metroplex. So as we move along, I think more issues or more opportunities will pop up over time. As we use our imagination more and more to simplify this process, because I mean, I don't see the technology the way it is. The software may get a little more powerful. The IMU may get a little bit better. You might get better than 2 centimeters accuracy. We're not seeing, probably from a control standpoint, we're seeing accuracy of 90% of our control points that we're checking sub 2 centimeter, and all of them within sub 3 centimeter. So the accuracy that we're achieving with the system is just overwhelming. And I can see us using the system actually for probably the next 10 years. Okay. I think it's an incredible system.
Now, Eric, I know that you have mentioned before just the idea of the imagination side of it and being able to figure out how do you use that data. And even sometimes your clients have to figure out, okay, we've got all this data, what can we do with it?
Yeah, I think it's, we're really going through the same thing that we went through when we got into terrestrial scanning, 7, 8 years ago, was you went out and, like Obadiah said, you start applying the technology to your existing projects, and then you just got to stretch your mind a little bit and start imagining and coming up with other valuable ways to use the technology. And we're doing that same thing now with mobile mapping. And even our clients are recognizing ways to use the data that we didn't think of. One example was when we went and presented this one data set to this water authority's board. We presented it to the board, and just a person who wasn't involved necessarily in the technical details of the project, but right away they recognized that this would be valuable data for their fire department. Why shouldn't our fire department have access to these water features and all of the LiDAR data that's associated with it? So we're going to build this geodatabase with all these water features, but let's give access of the LiDAR data access to the fire department so they can relay live data to their personnel in the field and say, hey, there's a fire hydrant and it's located X feet from these different features that they've identified in the LiDAR data. So it was value that they saw that we didn't recognize, and more I think clients are starting to see that, especially as the data becomes more widespread.
Sure. And Brad, I think one of the things that is interesting to me just in hearing about all this is it seems like clients are going to begin changing their expectations of what they need in a data set based on what these guys are able to provide.
And I think more importantly, or in addition to that, we will see for the first time that we are going to collect it once and use it many times. That has been a belief that's been in the digital environment for many, many years. We're going to collect it once and use it many times. But the problem is, if you can't see the data and you don't understand the data, then you forget it's there, or it's more trouble than it's worth to go and investigate. The ability to display this data and use it on a map interface and be able to see very quickly the information sets, and as we evolve and as enterprises learn more and more ways to leverage the data, we will start from a pure asset product that will move into a survey product. And the challenges faced our DOTs today with the new MAP 21 legislation that requires a full road inventory system. They are stretched beyond capacity. And it's important for our early adopter, our service providers who are partners with their respective DOTs, can deliver a product that satisfies a lot of those requirements. It is conceivable to use a Pegasus One system to create centerline road inventories of small county roads. And in addition to getting a road inventory, now we can get utilities, we can get drainage, we can get cross slopes, we can get pavement, we can give a full section of data collection with a single pass. And by doing that, we will give our departments of transportation the ability to produce better roadway systems that'll be safer for the traveling public.
Absolutely, a lot of exciting things going on in mobile mapping. From HxGN Live in Las Vegas, I'm Christine Grail with Leica Geosystems. Thanks for watching.